Hi,
Hi. How are you, Naveen?
I am doing pretty well. Thank you for asking. And how are you?
I'm doing quite good, and I'm so happy to see you back here because honestly, the thing is, I have another student who goes by the same name, Naveen. So I thought it was him because he keeps on, I keep on seeing his name regularly. So when I saw you, I was actually taken aback, and I'm so happy to have you because I think this is the second class together, second or third, if I'm not wrong. Yeah?
This is the second session
Oh, second
together.
session.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm so happy to have you here.
So how have you been, Naveen?
Yeah, I have been fantastic, and the things
Okay.
are good. Everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
what about you? How have you been?
Things are going pretty good on my personal front. So I am currently expecting, so that's the biggest change that is going on in my life right now. So just ready to embrace motherhood. So yeah, that's what's going on.
Great,
And
great.
Naveen, I can see a mic in front of you, which I don't think was there previously in our last class, right? So this
No,
proper studio sort of equipment that you have, yeah, is it
yes,
new?
yeah. It is new one, new equipment. I just
Okay.
bought recently, and
Mm-hmm.
when we had the first session at that time I didn't had this mic.
Right. So how are you finding the sessions after you bought this mic? Is it are you finding the sound quality to be better in the recordings?
Of course, after having this mic, the voice clarity is better than before.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
All right. So
So
Naveen,
how
in yeah, please go on.
how is the day? And just started, right? Just 11 o'clock. How did you
Right.
start?
Yes. My day went as usual. My day was entirely focused, at least so far. My day was focused on preparing breakfast, having it, and then I started with my classes. I just had a class before yours, and that too was with a YouTuber. So I'm quite happy that I got to meet the two of you today. And yeah, just starting with the day. And what about you? Did you have your breakfast?
Yes, I had.
Uh-huh. Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
had
good to know.
breakfast, and in free time I am learning new vocabulary. These days I'm
Okay.
yeah, collecting new vocabs to my gallery to use in my daily conversations.
Okay, that's good to know. And
Yes,
how far are you able to use it? I mean, if I ask you to give me a percentage, so are you able to use all the words that you're doing, or maybe half of it, a quarter of it, or maybe it's just, a 25 percentage of it?
yeah, I can say uh, 20 to 30%.
20 to 30%. Okay.
Yeah, just
So,
yeah.
right, which is again a good number. Right. So, Naveen, when it comes to vocabulary building, now this is for you as well as your audience as well. So, when it comes to vocabulary building, one thing which is absolutely required is repetition. The more you
Repetition.
use the word, the more it will stay with you. Right.
Yes.
Because honestly, I'm someone who believes in the fact that there is no point in just keeping on, learning new words and then keeping it in a diary if you're not going to revisit it. Okay. Because if you learn a new word today, you might remember it for the next 2, 3 days. Just like how you meet a person. When you're meeting a new person, you might remember him for the next 2, 3 days. But if that same person comes up to you, let's say after 2, 3 months, and you didn't really think about that person in these 3 months, would you remember the name? Maybe their face, perhaps, but their name might
Yes.
not be that familiar, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the same with words, vocabulary words. So it's very important that we revisit and we try to use it. Yeah. So
Yes,
just
we have
it
to.
was the
Yes.
side tip. Yeah, it was just a side
Uh,
tip in terms of vocabulary building for you and your audience.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have to revisit again and again. We have
Mhm.
to look at them, and we have to
Hmm.
revise on daily basis
Yeah.
or at any time of your day. That is
Right.
the best thing
Because
to remember.
uh-huh. Right. Because vocabulary is actually it has two parts to it. One is active vocabulary and the other one is passive vocabulary. Have you heard of these terms before? Active and
No,
passive vocabulary.
no, I
Okay.
heard, but I don't know exactly. Can you elaborate it?
Right. So active vocabulary basically means all the words that you use in your day-to-day communication, whether be it in writing or verbal, right? Whereas passive communication is basically it includes all the words that you know, right?
Okay,
So,
pass.
for example, when you're reading a newspaper, you might come across advanced level vocabulary and you might understand the meaning. You know the meaning, you know that word, but it's not part of your communication, right? So that's passive vocabulary. It's somewhere fed, feed it here, but it's stored here, but you don't use it, right? So if you think of it, passive vocabulary is like a big circle, and active vocabulary is a very small circle in that bigger one. So what we tend to do is we tend to increase our passive vocabulary more and more by learning a new vocabulary word every day. But we need to transfer the words from passive vocabulary into active vocabulary by repetition. Okay, otherwise it will go into your passive vocabulary. So that's
Great.
a difference. And that's why I said repetition is very important when it comes to vocabulary. Yeah.
Yes. So first step is passive vocabulary. Then we'll move to active vocabulary, right? Passive and
It's
active.
not, yeah, it's not basically step.
Yeah.
So how it works is whatever words you learn, it goes into your passive vocabulary. Because
Okay.
let's say you learned a word, and the 1 or 2 weeks later, you see that word, you will remember that you have read it somewhere, but you
Yes.
might not know the meaning. So that means it's somewhere here in the passive vocabulary, but you're not able to apply it. Right. So, how do we work on your vocabulary? By increasing the active vocabulary. Whatever you're learning, that repetition should be there. Understanding the word in context is important to know where exactly to use it. Right? That is important. And third, how exactly you go ahead with vocabulary learning. So, let me give you two different contexts. Okay. One where the student is randomly learning vocabulary words. Okay, let's say I might have an app which shows me a new vocabulary word every day, and I'm just learning that. That's it. Whereas a second student learns vocabulary through association. Means if today I am learning about fear, I'm learning all different words related to fear. For example, frightening, terrifying, petrifying, right?
Intimidate.
These words. Yes, intimidating,
Intimidating.
which is actually, yes, it's threatening, but it's on the other side. Fear is
Okay.
the person who is fearing, threatened,
Then-
frightened, right? Petrified. Whereas intimidating is someone else trying to do it to you.
Okay.
Of course, it's related. Yes, in a way, it's related. So you can learn these words together, right? So chances are higher that it will stay with you for longer period of time, especially because these words are, basically according to different levels when it comes to emotions, right? If you are, let's say, annoyed at someone, right? Maybe somebody took your lunch. Will you be, let's say, irritated with them, or will you be furious at them? What will be the level of your anger? It might vary, right? So,
Yes.
accordingly, the word that you use would vary. So, learning words according to the level of that feeling would be easier. Then it will stick with you for a longer period of time. Yeah.
Great. So we have to divide first, like words related to fear, words related to success, words related to failure, like that. Words
Right.
related to any
So,
subject.
uh-huh. So how you can start is go with action words first. If you're someone who's just
Actions.
starting off, action words, because verbs, that's what you need first, actions. Then go to describing words, adjectives. right?
Yes.
When it comes to adjectives, you can first focus on the describing words, of course. Describing words as in how to describe the basic things. If you have to describe a place, for example, then what are the things that you can talk about? Serene, picturesque, um,
Ambience. Ambience.
ambience of the place, right?
Yeah.
So, like that. But it's also important to focus on emotions, right? Emotions and feelings, because these are the words that we tend to use the most in our day to day life. Emotions and feelings, describing words, these are the words that we mostly use. So, focus on that first, the common things that you're supposed to use. Then focus on going to the advanced levels, like idioms and phrases,
Yeah.
right? So in the first step, focus on verbs, and in verbs, regular and irregular verbs, right? Regular verbs are easy. You just have to add ed to it.
Ed.
Slap,
Ed. Yes.
clapped, right?
Clapped.
Irregular verbs are the tricky ones,
Yes.
right?
We have to look
So
at them regularly. Yes.
yes. If you don't know that irregular verb, you'll not be able to do it. Right. For example,
Yes.
I just know the word eat. I don't know the word eat. Then
Yeah.
I will just say eat, right? So
Then
it's
we'll
important.
suppose to say we'll eat it like that if we don't know. But that is
Right.
not
Yes.
correct. So
Yeah,
we
which
have
is
to
wrong.
aware of, yes, we have to aware of irregular words when we are going to
Irregular verbs.
level up our speaking skills,
Yes.
especially. Yeah.
So for the people who are just starting off, knowing about irregular verbs, knowing about the adjectives, the basic adjectives in terms of your emotions, your feelings, and describing words, describing a person, describing a place, describing a thing, things like these. Then you go on to the subsequent levels. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Naveen, any other question related to vocabulary?
Yeah. Can you share what is your favorite way to practice vocabulary? Your favorite way from your childhood or from your student life? How did you practice and how did you
Right.
remember?
Mm-hmm. One phrase that I, always give an example whenever I talk about vocabulary from my personal anecdotes is out of the blue. Okay. This phrase, out of the blue, it's something that I learned in 10th standard. I still remember. I was in 10th standard and I think I learned it from my teacher. And I found it very interesting back then. It was the first time that I heard it, and out of the blue sounded very interesting somehow. And I started using it a lot. I remember after that, when I had my 10th board exam, 11th, I started using it wherever possible. Of course, according to the context, but instead of using suddenly, I started using out of the blue,
Out of the
right? And so much so that now it's stuck with me, so it's still there with me. So again, the coming back to the first point that I raised, repetition is very, very, very important, right? And some of the strategies I think I've already told you. Like I said, learning through
yes.
association, right? There are these vocabulary cards that are easily available on online modes, or you
Oh,
can make it on your own. So, or you can just write it in your diary, right? Where you have the different levels. For example, when I was giving you the example of fear, for
fear.
instance, the first level could be just scared, right? Or maybe nervous. Nervous
Nervous.
may be the first step, right? Nervous, then tensed, then you transit to the next level, which is fear. So scared, afraid, then terrified, frightened, petrified. Petrified means you are so scared that you can hardly move.
Um,
Okay. You're so scared, as for example, you're in a jungle and all of a sudden a tiger comes in front of you. You don't know what to do.
what to
You're
do, yes.
stuck, right? Stuck with fear. Or when you see a ghost. These are the situations where you use the word petrified.
Petrified.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So learning with the help of levels, it's very very useful. So then you know where to use it and applying it in the context. And when you are in class, it's possible that you wanted to use a particular word, but it wasn't coming to you. And after the class, Usually it happens when you are doing something which doesn't require your mind. For example, cooking. While cooking, your mind is free, or while driving, or while taking a shower. That's when this word will come back to you, right? You
Yes.
might have experienced it. So when that word comes to you, then try to apply. Okay, this is how I could have applied, and next time try to actively apply it. Okay, so application, revisitation, all of these are some of the common things that you can do. And of course, if you are someone who likes to do vocabulary games, you can take that up as well. Yeah. So Naveen, it felt like an interview session. I do want you to talk as well now.
Sure,
Right?
sure. I'm taking your insights on everything, so it will better for me and for me, for my viewers too.
Right, I understand. But now, as your tutor, it's my job
Sure.
to make you speak as well, right? So, what is your understanding of vocabulary and how do you help? Are you taking any sessions, any classes for your students? I mean, do you have
No,
any classes? No.
no, I'm
Okay.
not taking classes these days.
Okay. Because I've seen a lot of YouTubers doing that, right? Are you taking any, let's say, sessions with co-learners, or is it just with tutors?
These days, I'm taking sessions with tutors only.
Tutors only. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your idea about vocabulary learning, and how are you inculcating vocabulary learning into your language learning journey?
Yeah. My view on that is simple. So
Mm-hmm,
whenever I'm reading any newspaper or any magazine or any English related content on social media, whenever I encounter any new word, I just collect that word, and I will know the meaning of that word by googling it. Then
mm-hmm.
if it is easy to remember, I will just remember. But if it is not
Correct.
catchy, and if it is tough to remember, then I will take a note. I will note it down on a
Mm-hmm.
notebook. Then I will write meaning, and I will frame 2 or 3 sentences with that word.
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So that
that is the thing now I am doing.
okay, understood. So just to add on to what you said, when we read a book, no, it's possible that you want to um, you know, increase your reading time, and you might pick up a book, right? Whenever you choose a book, it's important that 90% of the vocabulary should be something that you already know. Same with podcasts and YouTube videos. 90% of the vocabulary should be something that you already know. Otherwise, you would give up after a point of time. You would keep the
Yes,
book down, right?
yes.
Because it's very exhausting to check the meaning of every word, right? So that is the first thing while choosing
Yes,
a book or any sort of media. Second thing is, whenever you come across a word, before you write it down and check the meaning, there is one more step that you should definitely do, which is guessing. Guess the meaning
yes.
of the word from the context. Think what it might mean, and then only check. Okay, so you
Okay, so
are actively working as well with the word. Okay,
sure.
so that is one more thing that you can do. Third thing is, it's not always necessary to know the meaning of each and every word.
Okay.
Okay, this is something that I always tell my young learners, especially, young students, because when they come across, they are the ones who usually spend their time reading, right? Because of schoolwork or novels that their teachers might have asked them. So every single time that they come across a difficult words, they don't have to really open the dictionary and check the meaning, right? Instead, just try and guess. And if you're able to get the meaning from the context, then let it be. So you don't have to check the meaning. You just go ahead with the story.
Yes,
You
sometimes yes,
right,
I too do. Yeah, contextual understanding. By
right, which
understanding
is
that sentence,
important.
and we can guess the word which we don't know.
Right.
Yes,
If a word is not making sense at all, and you're not able to understand the story without knowing the meaning of that word, then of course definitely check that word out. But not for each and every word. That is the
yes,
difference. Okay. And just before your class, like I said, I had another student of mine, and she used this one word. I think it was ubiquitous, something like that. And for me, it was a new word. I mean, I know that word, I have heard that word, but I wasn't familiar with the meaning, and I couldn't understand the meaning from the context as well. So I plan to check it after your class. So this is how, since you asked me how I work on my vocabulary, right? So now that word is with me, so I will check the word, of course, to know what exactly it means. And then I will also start using it so that again it will stay with me for long.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, just wanted to put it there to tell you that even trainers, teachers also do that, because humanly it's impossible to know every word. You'll always
Yes.
learn new words. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, Naveen, now it's time for me to share your feedback, right?
Sure.
But before I share the feedback, anything else that you want to discuss, or
You
any
can proceed with
questions?
feedback. Yes.
Feedback. Okay. So yes, when it comes to your feedback, Naveen, I think it's a feedback actually for me. I think that perhaps I should have spoken a little less today because I wanted you to speak more. But since we were on the topic, you wanted to know how to work on vocabulary. That's why I shared my understanding about it. But in the upcoming classes, I would want to, I would want you to take the front seat to initiate the conversations. You initiated the conversation, but to lead the conversation as well, right? To be the person who gives responses, right?
Sure.
So, in the upcoming classes, I would like to focus more on that, to focus on your fluency. Because today, I think fluency was something that can be a little bit better, because I felt that you were a little conscious about the way that you're talking.
Yes.
When you were
Yeah.
talking, you were
The
a little
speed of
conscious.
pace. Yes.
Yes. Whenever you were speaking, after every word, I could sense that there is this level of consciousness that you are putting in. So
Yes.
it could
If I
be,
speak,
yeah,
in a flow, I'm using these what we call,
filler
like
words.
that filler words. I'm using many filler words
Right.
when I'm speaking speedily.
Hmm.
So that is
Whenever
why
I speak. Yeah.
yeah, I'm making my pace somewhat down, and I'm speaking slowly, you know
Okay.
focusingly, yeah, focusedly, especially, yeah,
Okay.
to skip these filler words especially.
Okay, understood. So, Naveen, just a second. Let me switch on my charger. Yeah. Otherwise, the laptop will switch off. Just a
Sure,
minute.
sure, sure.
When it comes to filler words, if that is something that you are currently struggling with, there are a few strategies that you can try to utilize. Okay. But before I get into that, tell me, what are your filler sounds and words? What do you
First one,
usually end up using? You know.
then
Okay.
I'm giving pauses,
Uh, uh,
like that.
mm, okay. And
Yeah.
how frequent is that happening
um Frequently, most of the times.
most of the time? So if I ask you in a sentence, are you using it almost after every sentence, or after every two, three sentences,
Yeah,
or
if I
maybe
yeah, sure, if I take a 5 lines passage, so in that 5 lines I'm using, for 5 6 times,
5 6 times?
4 to 5
Okay.
times. Yes.
Right. So the first step in order to work on filler sounds is to understand how many times you are making that the frequency is coming. Right. Now, the second step is, once you know, okay, I am making the same word again and again, the second step is to try and reduce it, right? So, how do we do that? There are multiple ways to do that. First one is pausing, taking a brief pause instead of saying, okay? So, it's called taking silent pauses, okay?
Silent
So,
pause. Okay.
yeah, where you don't speak for a few seconds. Just like I took a brief pause there, if you noticed.
No.
It shouldn't be too long. It's a very brief
Just
pause.
brief,
It will
short
get,
one, very short.
yes.
Yeah.
And once you get the hang of it, you would start using it more. Because I personally used to face a lot of difficulties with filler sounds. My filler sound was again, I used to use
Mhm.
that a lot. So I used to watch my recordings, see how many times I was using it to basically, be more conscious of it. Okay. Then gradually, I started using pauses as a technique. That
Mhm.
was the first step. Second step is emphasizing on words. When we emphasize a little on the words, you are also buying time for yourself. Okay. Third one is stretching.
Stretching. Okay.
Okay. Stretching means what I'm trying to say is, if you noticed, I stretched, right? So when we talk about global warming, we see that the planet is suffering a lot because of the actions of humankind. If you notice, I'm
Yes.
using little stretching here and there, right? It is buying me
Yes.
time. Again, the more you use it, the more you become a master of using it. Okay. So these are a few techniques. Silence, then